This week in Jamaica Now, COVID cases surging.
We have now crossed the trip line.
The chief medical officer says most of the cases were contracted over the Emancipendence period. But did she advise the government to tighten the holiday curfew?
What do we answer that?
The health minister diverts.
You're asking her to reveal discussions that she have at the cabinet level, and that's not fair. Go to the next question.
That's fine, no
please.
problem.
Central Bank projects 7 to 10% economic decline as COVID takes toll in Jamaica. Then, police launch probe into birthday party for COVID-positive Usain Bolt. Arguments, counter-arguments, and clapbacks. Who won the first two political debates?
I think we just discovered why the Minister of Health has done so badly with dengue and now COVID. Perhaps some marketing of, well, let's not go there.
He talks about being architect of recovery. If Peter Phillips has anything to do with it, he's the architect of destruction.
And $8 million drug bust in Kingston. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. COVID-19 cases are surging in Jamaica, with more than 500 new cases and 3 deaths. Public officials like People's National Party General Secretary Julian Robinson and Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson are among the confirmed cases. Robinson is also the People's National Party candidate for St. Andrew Southeastern. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has conceded that the numbers are now at worrying levels.
We have now crossed the trip line. We have started to take measures even before it did.
CMO, did you advise the government to extend the curfew hours during the Emancipendence period?
What do we answer that?
You're putting her the CMO in a very uncomfortable position, and unfairly so, I think, because you're asking her to reveal discussions that she have at the cabinet level, and that's not fair. Go to the next
That's
question,
fine, no
please.
problem. Was it then not irresponsible to have failed to tighten the curfew hours during the Emancipendence period?
I think we have done fairly well when compared globally. Now, it is out of that performance that decisions were taken to ease restrictions. In other words, in a sense, it was reward for good behavior.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has reimposed tighter curfew hours for the island from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily until September 30. But in St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Catherine, as well as Clarendon, the curfew will begin at 7 p.m. Funerals have also been prohibited. However, burials limited to 15 people will be allowed. And Prime Minister Andrew Holness says a police probe is now underway into the circumstances surrounding the surprise birthday party for retired sprinter Usain Bolt. Bolt and his patrons were seen partying without masks or observing physical distancing. Bolt is now at home in isolation after testing positive for COVID-19. Celebrity guests like Raheem Sterling, Leon Bailey, Ding Dong, and Christopher Martin were also there. There have been mixed reviews on the performance of the representatives of the two political parties in the first two political debates. In the team debate on Tuesday night, there were arguments, counter-arguments, and clapbacks by both the PNP and the JLP debaters.
I think we just discovered why the Minister of Health has done so badly with dengue and now COVID. Perhaps some marketing of, well, let's not go there. But you directed in your rebuttal assertions to me. You seem to always be looking in the wrong direction, Minister.
If the PNP could build a country the way you build a story, you'd actually make a good government.
On Thursday night, the Jamaica Labour Party's Dr. Nigel Clark faced off with the People's National Party's Mark Golding.
When they were last in office for 4 years, they levied $53 billion of taxes. And that is the only way for them to finance this. When they're finished taxing the Jamaican people to finance their $100 billion of expenditure, all of Jamaicans will be left with a little bit of money.
With the dollar sliding the way it has, it affects people in their pockets. Prices are going up, hardship is on the land. Nigel, the housewives are calling you Mr. 150 to 1 because it's under your watch that you've allowed this to happen.
Meanwhile, Bank of Jamaica Governor Richard Biles says the economy is projected to contract by 7 to 10% during the 2020-2021 fiscal year as a result of the impact of COVID-19. According to the BOJ governor, the impact of COVID-19 on the domestic economy has been significant. Biles says partial economic recovery is expected to start in the 2021-2022 fiscal year with anticipated growth of 3 to 6%. And as Jamaica prepares for the September 3 general election, the latest Gleaner Commission Don Anderson polls are indicating that the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, is leading the People's National Party, PNP, in at least 2 battleground constituencies. In Clarendon North Central, the JLP's Nesta Morgan is leading the PNP's Dr. Desmond Brennan by 9 percentage points. Meanwhile, in St. Andrew Eastern, the JLP's Fable Williams is 13 points ahead of the PNP's Venetia Phillips. This is consistent with national polls that show the JLP ahead of the PNP. The narcotics police this week seized approximately $8 million worth of illicit drugs in the Kingston 20 area. The police say about 1:30 on Tuesday morning, a team searched the premises while conducting an anti-narcotics operation and found over 1,600 pounds of compressed ganja and 1 kilogram of cocaine. They also found 2 motor vehicles, 203,000 Jamaican dollars, and 2,050 US dollars. A man and a woman were arrested in connection with the seizures. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Jamaican Monique Mendez has become the first black woman and second person to be awarded a PhD in neuroscience at the University of Rochester. The Immaculate Conception High School pass student fell in love with biology from her early high school years. She migrated at 16 and her pursuit of neuroscience started at 19 years old when she decided to get a job in the second year of her biology degree at the University of Florida. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notifications, and subscribe today. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, ahead of Saturday's leadership debate, we took to the streets of Kingston and asked respondents, what qualities do you expect in your leader?
Is able to take action. Is somebody who can make decisions.
That person have to be jovial.
Expect them to set example that young people can follow. And even older folks who missed out on something that they should have known when they were somewhat younger, didn't know it. Even them can set some example that we as older folks can follow too.
He has a strong conviction about what to do, and he's open to take advice and corrections from other persons.
Because they are leaders and they are example.
Honesty, integrity, a lot of knowledge, can see like way down the road, maybe 10, 15 years down the road.
You have to know how to understand not everybody in this country.